Nightfall at Target Field here in Minneapolis as the Sox try to avoid the sweep and split this twin bill on a Friday. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. Game number one, we expected a pitcher's duel. We got a pitcher's duel, and Barrios was a little bit better than Lopez.
Unfortunately, neither one of these guys gave up very much, and in the end, it was one sacrifice fly that told the difference. Ronaldo Lopez was brilliant once again. He's been throwing unbelievably well, moving the fastball in and out. He did walk 5 guys, and eventually that led to his undoing. Barrios was magnificent, as he usually is against our Sox. He's 7-1 lifetime. The fastball was exploding. His curveball was absolutely unhittable, and all things being equal, he pitched just a touch better because of this sacrifice fly. Adam Engel hits the back of the mound. The ball bounces straight up, and that is the difference in the ball game. So a well-pitched game. The Twins won the first game, and hopefully the offense will be in evidence in the second game.
That would be in support of Lucas Giolito, who makes the start his final start of 2018.
He's faced them a whole lot. This is the 5th time that he's faced these Twins, and hopefully tonight he'll be very good as he's been at other times. He's 2-1 against him. His ERA in the low 3s. Normally the curveball's very good against him. And hopefully tonight the offense helps him as Lucas bids for his 11th win of the year. So if he throws anywhere close to what Lopez did in the first game, he should be in good shape.
Sox and Twins, game number 2 of 4 to end the season here in the Twin Cities. First pitch just around the corner.
is brought to you in part by Toyota. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
They move fast here in the Twin Cities. Game number 2 of this doubleheader as the Sox and Twins get together for the second of 4 in this series. And the White Sox lineup goes a little something like this tonight. It's brought to you by the Webb Auto Group. The best lineup of Chevys, Fords, Mitsubishis, Genesis, and Hyundais at the best price. Go to webcars.com. Moncada, Sanchez, Polka, Davidson, Narvaez, and Smith, Delmonico, Rondon, Cordell, your starting 9.
Let's take a look at the defense and how Paul Molitor is going to put them out there in the second game of the Twin Bill. It's Grossman, Cave, and Kepler in the outfield with Adrianza, Polanco, Forsythe, and Garver in the infield. Gratterall. He's got the plate, and DeYoung on the hill. He's our Lexus Experience Amazing pitcher. It's Chase DeYoung. 0-1 this year, ERA of 3.86. This is his 4th start. You see the numbers? Not overpowering. 5 walks and 11 2/3. Normally that's not what he does. He really can't afford to do too much of that and get away with it. The umpires for the second game. John Tumpain has the plate. John Lipka's at first base. Jim Reynolds at second. And Jansen Visconti is at third base.
You ready to play a second one?
I am.
All right, let's do it.
Psyched up and ready to go for a little more offense, though.
Yeah, 2-1 in the first game. Good pitching performance. Barrios went 7, Lopez went 6, and Yoan Moncada gets his first opportunity to swing it today after the day side off. Chase DeYoung, first pitch, and Moncada swings at it to loft at third base side. Adrianza has no play. We're underway at 7:10 tonight. Split doubleheader, Sox and Twins. Sox trying to avoid the sweep. Two teams split a doubleheader back on June the 5th. Twins won the first game, Sox won the second game. The very tail end of the rookie season for Yoan Moncada. His first full season. In the air, right center. Cave is there for round number 1. Hey, Sox fans, join Yolmer Sanchez, Tim Anderson, Nicky Delmonico, Ron Kittle, and others on December 9th for Sox on the Beach with Apple Vacations. Stay 7 nights at the all-inclusive Iberostar Paraíso Lindo in beautiful Riviera Maya, Mexico. There's a private welcome party, an autograph session, food and drink, and special group activities with your White Sox hosts. Visit applevacations.com/White Sox to book your trip today. Here is Yolmer Sanchez. How often do you see it? A guy who's going on a vacation in December, then comes up immediately after the promo regarding that vacation.
And hits in the 2 spot on top of it.
The odds are overwhelming against it. Bonus strike on Sanchez, who had one of the Sox 4 hits in game 1.
Young's last time out against Oakland was his longest start of the year. That at 4 1/3 innings.
He didn't strike anybody out in that start. Bounced around from organization to organization. Four and a third, 5 hits, 2 earned runs in that start at Oakland. He's gone 4 and 3 1/3, both against Kansas City in the other 2. California native Chase DeYoung on 2-2. This is upstairs.
Probably thinks he's very fortunate to be in the major leagues. He spent the majority of the season in Double-A with the Mariners. He was 5 and 6, ERA just under 4. And when you're in Double-A most of the year, you don't anticipate going to another organization and still coming to the major leagues.
He strikes Sanchez out up high. 2 gone in the first.
This upstairs a good fastball for a wipeout pitch, and he throws it right by Yomer.
So the Sox are 7 strikeouts away from tying the major league record as a group. That was Milwaukee last year. Daniel Palka takes ball 1. Daniel 0 for 3 in game 1 with a walk. That was a leadoff walk in the 4th inning against Barrios.
It's a straight change to go with his high fastball, and the straight change was a good one. Now he's going to try inside with that fastball.
Way inside. Well, you could tell he didn't want to leave it over the plate.
Nope. And Gratterall wisely, when he gave him the sign, told him to get it in there.
Went back to the changeup, 3-1. '89 on the fastball. Palka's eyes lit up and he missed it. There's Matt Davidson, who's next here in the first on a 49-degree night so far at Target Field. Palka takes ball 4.
Infield will shift all the way around for Matt as they play him as a pull hitter from the right side. Logan Forsythe is well on the third base side of second. So nobody home on the right side as Garver has to hold close to Palka at first.
Wouldn't have been a bad pitch to poke to the right side there.
He had all the room in the world over there. This is DeYoung's first look at our Sox, and quite obviously their first look at him.
Way outside, off Gratterall's glove, and Palka takes second base.
That almost acted like a cutter as he threw it wide of the plate anyway, and it kept on moving outside away from Gratterall. He wants it inside, and DeYoung just pulls it across the plate and to the limestone.
One ball, one strike. Palka at second. And ball 2 on a curveball from DeYoung. Spent time in the Blue Jays, Dodgers, Mariners, and now Twins organizations. Right-hander out of Long Beach, California. Strong baseball program at Woodrow Wilson High School in Long Beach. The Burrows went there, among others. Palka at second, 2-2. Sox went 1-2-3, all strikeouts in the first in game 1 against Barrios, and it looked like it was going to be about an hour 50-minute game. Sox finally did get to him for some base runners in the third. It's the only run scoring inning for the Sox. On 2-2, Davidson swings and misses at a slider in the dirt. And the inning comes to a close. The walk doesn't hurt DeYoung. Sox will send Lucas Giolito out after this. Joe Mauer, Jorge Polanco, and Jake Cave. Your top three in the order for Paul Molitor. They'll be followed by Robbie Grossman, Mitch Garver, and Max Kepler. Forsythe, Adrianza, and Gratterall, your starting nine.
The defense for our Sox, and now they're going to line up with Delmonico, Cordell, and Palka left to right. Sanchez, Rondon, Moncada, and Delmonico in the infield with Kevin Smith behind the plate, and our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher, Lucas Giolito, looking for win number 11.
And he'll face Mauer first in a lineup that looks extravagantly different than the one he saw back in April on this field. Opening start against the Twins this year, the lineup included Brian Dozier, gone to LA, Miguel Sano up and back, Eddie Rosario, who's out with a quad injury, Logan Morrison, Eduardo Escobar, Byron Buxton, and Jason Castro. Good sharp breaking curveball, 0-2.
That was a good pitch, and establishing that early is the best thing for Lucas, who is making his 32nd start of the year. Trying to get to the high 170s in innings pitched.
Fastball a little bit down, 1-2 on Joe Mauer, who was 2 for 4 in the opening game. Two balls, 2 strikes on Mauer, who is usually quite difficult to strike out. And a little bit easier to strike out this year at 16% strikeout rate. This ends up in center field, his third hit of the doubleheader.
And started off the second game exactly as he started off the first game, and unfortunately in that first game he scored after a Cave double. The fastball right back up the middle and finds its way into center field.
He's on for Polanco. Who takes ball number 1. Jorge Polanco in his 5th year in the majors. 9 total games in 2014 and 2015, and then some more run in 16 and 133 games last year, but the suspension cut his season short this year. He'll play about 75 games.
Hit the ball hard one time in the first game, but had nothing to show for it.
Mauer at first, nobody out. Fastball inside. Cleveland guaranteed the playoff spot from the AL Central. Minnesota is going to finish 2nd in the division. Sox look like they'll be the 4th place team, although there's an outside chance based on what the Tigers do. Sox could find their way into 3rd, as you see what Polanco typically does, which is push the ball to the pull side. So he does this. He plunks it down softly in the green grass in left.
Two on, nobody out, as he gets an inside fastball with an inside out swing and doesn't get a whole lot on it, but enough to get it over Rondon's head.
2 on, nobody out for Cave. And speaking of the Tigers, they are putting it on Milwaukee in the first inning at Miller Park. They're going to be up at least 3 at the end of the first. The top of the first, I should say. They're leading 3-0, top 3 in Milwaukee. It's big news in the NL wildcard chase and the NL Central.
That's 4 hits in the first inning so far.
I do miss having Milwaukee in the division. I like those Milwaukee-Minnesota games. I like Sox-Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, it was very nice to have them in the division.
Trips to County Stadium.
Yeah. Easy trip.
Yeah. One and 2 on Cave, who doubled in game 1.
Doesn't ground into double plays very much as you take a look at the infield. Only grounded into 2 of them this year.
It's called a ball. 1 and 2. Turns to 2 and 2.
Pretty good pitch, but if Lucas is not going to get that, then you can't keep going down there. You got to stay upstairs for your wipeout pitch. As that ball had the plate but wasn't called by John Tumpain.
Mauer at second, Polanco at first. That's called strike 3. A little bit elevated as compared to the last one. And he gets this one.
Like the last one, this one had the plate. Only, as Jason told you, it's a couple inches higher, but they both had the plate. That ball with good late movement. And Cave, a strikeout victim looking.
One out for Robbie Grossman. By the way, we were talking about the National League scores. The Yankees have just taken an 8-0 lead on Boston. That would be win number 99.
That would give them the wild card.
The home field.
The home field in the wild card. I mean, #1 wild card.
Be 99 wins for the Yankees. They could be yet another team in the same division getting to 100 wins and not winning the division. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
No. Well, at least they're going to the playoffs.
That's right.
I was with one that won 100, didn't win the division, and didn't go to the playoffs.
Your fond memories of 1980.
Yeah, it was very nice. And there you see what it looks like with Oakland sitting right there without their fate in their own hands.
All those games in the middle of the year that you could have had, or you might have had, or didn't get because of an error or whatever it might be, and then it boils down to one game or two games.
Yeah, you're looking at it saying, well, if we had only, and then, you know, but that's the anatomy of a season. You always give away opportunities.
In the dirt, Mauer and Polanco advance. They'll get the one base, and that's all.
It is a wild pitch. Except that backhand is not what you recommend to try to stop one of those. You got to smother it, and Kevin couldn't. It gets away, costs 90 feet times 2.
3-1 to Grossman. On the ground, Giolito. And the Twins give up the second out. Mauer was lingering off at third. Polanco was actually fairly close to third base when Giolito fielded that ball.
Unfortunately, Lucas, and it's a natural tendency, you look at the lead runner first. He comes up with this, and Polanco is way off the bag, but he's looking at third base. He never really sees him and then goes to first. We saw what the wild pitch did. It took him out of the double play situation, would have been out of the inning now. Instead, you got to make some good pitches.
Now, if you play that forward, say he throws to second base, he ends up getting Polanco in the rundown, but then you've got to worry about Mauer, and there is the chance that you don't get an out on that play. Now you can focus on Garver. What do you think the best play there is, if you saw the runner?
I think he did it exactly the way he had to do it.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in the world you're going to turn around, look to second, first, and disregard the runner at third. That's just not going to happen. So by the time he did take a look at Mauer, and then realizing that he doesn't have a lot of time to check second base because you can't anticipate he's going to be off to the bag, so he made the one play that he's supposed to make.
That's why I brought it up. You look at it on replay and you say, oh, it's so tantalizing. You throw it there, then it's a long way from home, and Mauer, you never know.
And you didn't see him in the first place.
2-1 to Garver, who didn't play in game one. Downstairs, 3 balls and a strike. Got Kepler next. Pitch number 25 of the first inning. Laced to right field, tailing away from Palka, and it will bring 2 home. Garver locks it into the corner, a 2-run double.
.41 runs batted in for Mitch Garver, and that time he went up and out of the strike zone to drill that one down the line. High fastball, it's away, it's out of the strike zone, and it's in right field for a 2-base hit. So because of the wild pitch, the double play that wasn't turns into 2 runs, which is normally the way things work.
And it continues the inning for a 6th batter for Kepler. Who was 0 for 4 with 4 fly balls in game one. This finds space and will drive home a 3rd in the inning. Garver scores. Kepler compels him there, and it's 3-0.
.55 driven in for Max Kepler. Good movement, and yet he finds a nice place for it to land.
Those were not terrible pitches, either of them.
Nope, but unfortunately, when a team is swinging it pretty well, that's what happens.
So for this season, Lucas Giolito's first inning on base percentage allowed is going to be somewhere around 440. Depending on where this goes, it was 431 coming into this start.
But that's also way down from what it was, because there was a time when those numbers were huge.
I mean, you compare that to the 4th inning, the 5th inning, and the 6th inning. 264, 296, 295.
Yeah, I mean, that's been his MO this year, was get off to the rocky start, then all of a sudden start to feel it, and then just wipe out the lineup. regardless of who's in the lineup. But the rocky starts have really hurt him.
It's also kind of microcosmic for his season as well. You talk about the first couple starts, he didn't seem to really have the curveball as you talked about, and he never really found a groove of a month where he was the guy we saw from last year. There were pockets, but the first inning has been a frequent problem. Well, the Brewers have scored 2 in their first inning because just be real happy Christian Yelich didn't end up in the American League.
But what a year he's having.
Hit a 2-run homer in the first tonight. That dude is a legitimate MVP candidate in the future.
He's going to be given a whole lot of votes this year. Javier Baez probably will receive the most votes.
DeGrom.
Cy Young Award.
You could make a case for MVP.
Not with the amount of wins he has.
They don't matter.
I know, but he won't win it. He won't come close.
Strike 3. You did say I know, though. We have that on record.
Yeah, but he won't come close.
You agreed.
Yeah.
Yay, we're bridging the gap.
Not really.
3-0.
Triple Crown candidates. J.D. Martinez having a huge year. 42 and 127 to go with 330. Christian Yelich at 321, 34 and 106 with his 2-run homer in that first inning. So things starting to heat up in that race. There's Mookie Betts also certainly given consideration, but those two guys have had huge years as Triple Crown candidates.
With his numbers, and I know you can't compare them, it's not fair to because of different competition, but with his numbers, J.D. Martinez could win the Triple Crown in the National League.
Yeah.
You don't get anything for that, but
yeah.
Omar takes a strike. Wasn't terribly thrilled with that strike, but
and now the shift completely changes. Adrianza moves well where a shortstop would normally play, which is where a second baseman usually plays.
A position he's used to. That's another reason to have somebody on your bench or in your lineup who can play multiple infield positions, because you're going to end up playing there in the shift.
You shift enough and usually find one player out of position, but it's not the case here.
A blooper. Short center field, and it's down. Boy, that was a cavalier approach by Cave.
I thought Cave should have had that ball easily. I'm not sure exactly why he didn't come and get it, but it's a much easier play for a center fielder.
Wow, he wasn't hoofing it at all.
Adrianza comes out, and nobody calls for it apparently. Cave just kind of trotted to the ball after getting a pretty good start on it. I thought he was going to come and get it easily. He didn't. Well, Cave started backwards. That probably was one of the big reasons, and then just didn't get it.
That may not matter. It does not. Kevin Smith, the double play. It takes one extra pitch for DeYoung to wipe away Narvaez. Polanco was playing third for Kevin Smith. He was playing the third base side of the shift. Now he moves back to shortstop. Adrianza in the third base position, which is lined up at shortstop. And you can decipher all that. What I mean to say is they just switched spots.
Yeah, and a nice idea by Nicky, because they left the left side open for him, and if he just got the bunt down on the grass, it'd have been a base hit.
Through the chilly night sky in Minneapolis, Nicky pops up, and the inning comes to an end. Leadoff single does no harm. We'll play bottom two with the Twins up.
Football coverage in Chicago. Watch High School Lights, presented by Wintrust, tonight at 11 on NBC Sports Chicago, or stream live on the NBC Sports app.
Football season in full swing. It feels like a football day here today. Walking into the ballpark,
yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it did. Football Friday.
.49 degrees at game time here in Minneapolis, as Ozzie Guillen's godson, A-Ray Adrianza, takes ball one.
Think the temps go up from here? Probably not, huh?
It's amazing. It was 30 degrees and blizzard when we started here this year, and then we end the year here and it's 49 degrees and dropping.
It'll be in the mid-30s tonight.
Yeah, no thanks on that.
No precipitation or rain or any of that stuff. No snow, no rain, nothing. We're in good shape till Sunday. Maybe some sleet Sunday for you.
Come on.
Just a little, not a
You're
lot.
joking, right?
No, seriously.
A wintry mix?
Yeah, some of that.
3-1 for Adrianza. Yep, it is winter cap time in the Twin Cities. Ball 4. Leadoff walk. Whether you're looking ahead of the ballpark with 20 people or a few hundred, Chicago White Sox have the perfect option for you. Call 312-674-1000 for information on group outings for 2019. We're what? 6 months away?
It's right around the corner. And good seats are still available.
It'll be warm on opening day. Nobody will remember I said that once we get there, but it's always worth a shot.
Yeah, well, we're opening on the road, Kansas City and Cleveland.
Yeah. Done an early trip to New York to face the Yankees.
Very pleasant.
Gratterall, the catcher, checks his swing. Well, spring training lulls you into that false sense of security, right? Because it's 85 degrees, cactus league, sunglasses.
How much better than March in Arizona?
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
(2-0) fouled away by Gratterall, who was outstanding with the Angels this year. Just tremendous, high-level stuff. He had a batting average of 1,000.
I know. I mean, it's hard to believe they get rid of a guy who was never retired.
Yeah. 1 for 1 with the Angels.
But it was well hit.
You sure about that?
No, I'm not, actually.
2-1. On the ground, foul of third. 2-2 for Gratterall.
Young man ecstatic with a souvenir. One he probably didn't think he was going to get. And there it is.
Juan Gratterall is one of 2 Gratteralls ever to play in the major leagues. He is the only hitting Gratterall. The first Gratterall was Biker Gratterall. B-E-I-K-E-R.
Sounds like a pitcher.
He was, yeah. He pitched for the Tigers, 1 game at the Yankees. His ERA career 15.75.
But if it got to 16, they had to sell, and that's ended his career.
Well, they rounded up and they sold.
Yeah.
The 99 Yankees hit him pretty hard back on April the 9th of 99. Upstairs, throw to second is late, and a stolen base for A-Ray Adrianza.
That is his 5th stolen base. And he makes it in ahead of a high throw.
Three balls, 2 strikes from Lucas. It's in the dirt, ball 4. Adrianza had a big enough secondary lead that he took third.
We'll take another look. And that one got away. Good piece of base running, actually. Adrianza was trying to come down and then stopped and realized when the ball got away that he could make it easily, which he did, putting runners at the corners and nobody out.
So the walk ended up hurting Reynaldo Lopez with 3 straight walks to start the decisive inning in game 1. Eventually that led to a sac fly from Astudillo and the game winner. Another pitch in the dirt. Adrianza had a notion, then he stopped. Lucas's last start against the Cubs, it was 6 days ago. It was 61 degrees at first pitch time. Another ball in the dirt. Ten pitches out of the zone, 3 strikes in the inning. Changeup just missed. 3-0. Polanco to follow. The walk bug starting to bite Giolito as it did to Lopez in the first game. 3-0 is down and in ball 4. Bases loaded, all on walks, and Don Cooper maybe and will come to the mound.
Very similar to that 6th inning in the first game, where Reynaldo Lopez walked the first 3, got out of the inning with only 1 run, which was a major accomplishment, but that's pretty much all it took. Sacrifice fly that turned out to be a game winner. So Don's had his say. Get out there before John Tumpane had to break it up.
It was a very one-way conversation.
Not much to say at that point. Lucas knows he's got to get the ball over the plate. He knows he doesn't have any rhythm, and Don is trying to find the light, turn on the light somehow, something in what he says. Hopefully he'll be able to throw a ground ball, turn 2, and then 1 more out, you're out of the inning.
You think this is a dive with a capital D for Polanco go after the first pitch?
Well, normally when a pitching coach goes out there, you look first ball fastball and think it's going to be in the zone. And that was not. Yeah.
Off the plate, 2-0. Well, the last thing you want going into the offseason is to have a rough start. Just kind of sits there for a while. 3 balls, no strikes.
That's one of the things we haven't seen from Lucas in a while that he's throwing tonight, and that is kind of taking the ball with him and missing way wide inside the left-handers, away to right-handers. It's the first base side of the home plate. When Lucas falls off to that side, he misses by plenty, and that's something that he has avoided, but he's got back here this evening. There's sacrifice flies.
The Twins want more than that from this inning. They would take it certainly, but green is where you're very likely to get a sac fly, and there is strike 1. Adrianza at third, Gratterall at second, Mauer at first. 3-1 is high. It's ball 4, and it walks in a run. 1 in, nobody out in the inning. 4 straight walks.
41 driven in by Polanco.
And it's up to Cave. Twins 3 in the first and 1 here in the second. High in the sky, left field side. And out number 1.
Hector Santiago loosening in the pen. Fortunately, that fly ball was not far enough, and no advancement.
Leaves it up to Grossman, who grounded back to the mound in the first. Kevin with the pick that time, ball 1.
That was a nice pick. That one could easily have gotten away.
Sox are in danger right now of being swept in a doubleheader in Minnesota for the first time since 2011. Last doubleheader sweep against the Sox overall was 4 years ago against the Angels. Usually you split. That's just the way these go. Two balls, one strike on Grossman. That did catch the corner. Good strike, 2-2.
Grossman didn't like that last call, but it had the whole plate.
Gratterall, Mauer, Polanco, your base runners. 2-2 from Lucas. On the ground and through, down the third base line, 1 in. Here comes the second. Mauer scores it, and the Twins add on to make it 6-0. And that's going to do it for Lucas Giolito in his final start of 2018.
47 driven in for Grossman, and when you walk a lot of people in an inning, you get one of those little bleeder hits, and it costs you. So Lucas, a disappointing final start, and that's going to be it for him. He will depart, and so will we. We'll be back. Hector Santiago coming into this one. And he's got to hold it right there. 6-run deficit. On for the 49th time. He's 6-3. ERA of 4.35. 2 for 2 in save opportunities. All things considered, been a nice year. As Hector doing a job that not a whole lot of people would sign up for, and that's pretty much if the game is starting to get out of hand, he'll come in and try to eat up some innings, and that's what he has to do here in the second of 2 games.
Hector's ERA about midway through the year was at 5.81. That was back on July the 22nd. So since then, the last 2 months, he's pitched very well for the Sox.
Yeah, he has, in whatever role, and he's been asked to fill a whole lot of different roles, and he's done a nice job.
Garver first, swings through, strike 1. Garver got the scoring started in this game back in the first.
Took one out of the strike zone and drilled it into the right field corner. It drove home a pair.
That was on a 3-1 count. Lucas got himself into a bundle of negative counts early in this game.
Yeah, he was behind consistently, didn't have any feel for it again tonight, and as so often happens, when you have no feel, you start walking too many guys, and then a bloop hit or 2, and you got some big numbers up there.
Just inside, 2-1 for Garver. These runners on are property of Giolito. His ERA at 6.08 as it stands right now, so his ERA will be in the 6s at the end of the year. Looked like it was ticketed for ball 3, and Garver fouled it off.
Just a very disappointing evening for Lucas Giolito, who wanted to finish it with a flourish and didn't get a chance to do that.
Two and two. Well, the Sox will play 2 more here in Minneapolis, 6:10 tomorrow and 2:10 on Sunday.
And the whole league, just so you know, on Sunday, all the teams in the league play at the same time, so nobody has any advantages over anybody else.
Pitching choices, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, for instance, if you're in contention and you were to play on the West Coast when a team you're in contention with, let's say for the wild cards, play on the East Coast, if they start to get hammered in their ball game, you could pull back and change your lineup, or maybe even change your starting pitcher depending on how far along the game is. And baseball doesn't want that to happen. Baseball wants everybody on an even playing field for the last game, so all games will start at the same time.
That may come into play in the National League with so many close races. The Rockies up on the Dodgers by a game in the NL West. The Cubs a game and a half on the Brewers in the NL Central. The wild card, still 3 teams in the thick of it. Though the Cardinals are threatening to drop out after losing 4 straight, including today. Right field. Long run for Daniel. He has to play it off the wall, and it bounds away from him. Polanco scores. Grossman to third. It's 7-0 Minnesota. Almost a carbon copy of Garver's first.
Garver's had his problems catching, but he can swing the bat. We'll watch it again, and takes this one the opposite way. Hits it pretty hard. I think Daniel thought he had a good shot at this, but the ball kept on going and winds up against the wall. It gets by him as he got trapped in too close, trying to make the catch. And it's the second of two base hits.
Infield in, and a foul ball for Kepler as Hector dropped down. 4 runs in the inning for Minnesota and an 8th batter coming up. Little did we know in the first game at Target Field this season, when Aaron Bummer had the bullpen door nearly close on him, that was going to be a microcosm of how this season's going to go in this ballpark. Rooting for a blizzard right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that the weatherman will not cooperate this evening.
Move the game to International Falls. It's always snowing there.
Or Bemidji.
Bemidji, yes. One of the smallest television markets in America. Popped up. Back of home, Kevin Smith. No play. Second and third, 1 out. Kepler, the batter. Again, as we talked about in the first game, he has really ramped up his batting against left-handed pitchers as he gets punched out there by the overhand right of John Tumpain. 2 down.
This is a pretty good pitch. Good fastball, outside corner. And that's it for that at bat.
Yeah, to right-handed batters, there have been highlights of John Tumpain's strike 3. Looks like he's taking a knife and driving it right into you. Here's Forsythe, who struck out looking in the first. Totally underrated part of baseball for me is umpire strike 3 calls and how different they are.
And I'm not sure that's something you can really learn. I think it's something that you just grow into as you move along, and you pick out one that you feel comfortable with. You might try a couple of them, and then you settle on one that you kind of like.
Wonder if there was a guy when you were pitching that you really liked to get strike 3 from. Amped you up when you saw that call.
All of them.
I knew
every one
if
of them.
I could have wagered money.
Yeah, I'd have liked it on strike 2, but I had to wait.
You lobbying for the rule change for just 2 strikes and a strike.
You only need 2 if you're a good hitter.
If your average is over 300, you strike out on strike 1. Grossman at third, Garver at second. Forsythe catapults it foul, 1-2. Logan Forsythe, who was in a playoff race with the Dodgers, then suddenly was not as the Dodgers grabbed Brian Dozier from Minnesota. .72 pitches from White Sox pitchers so far.
Well, but it is a second inning, so it's not like it's a lot of pitches.
You're confusing our newcomers to the game. 3-2 on Forsythe.
So you can't really say he scattered 73 pitches?
You can't scatter pitches. They go to the same place mostly. Three-two. Hector Santiago spent a couple of years here with the Twins, 16 and 17 after his first stint with the Sox, and then a foray to Anaheim, including his All-Star year of 2015. Upstairs, ball 4, bases loaded, and Adrianza, who opened the inning with a walk, appears before us again. Now is the ceremonial time when you take your pen to the top of your scorecard and cross out all the numbers of the inning.
Yeah, I've just already done that. So we have 2 number 2s and so forth.
And so it goes. Hopefully, with great optimism, you change the 10 into a 9 and believe that the Twins will be forced to hit in the home 9th. Lucas Giolito, who started the game and went an inning and a third, his final start of 2018. The weight of a short final outing is more substantial than a short any other outing. Whether it should be or not, it tends to skew that way.
That's disappointing. I mean, you want to finish it off. You want to finish it off like you had your second half, which is very good. Just didn't work out that way. He never really got his feet under him. Started out the game giving up back-to-back base hits, and it deteriorated from there.
Ball and 2 strikes. Santiago to Adrianza. A-Ray Adrianza used to be a switch hitter, but he's decided to hit only lefty against Santiago. Right center, Ryan Cordell grabs out number 3, and that ends the second inning. Twins get 4 and knock out Giolito.
in tonight's game.
Top of the third, Rondon Cordell Moncada to bat against Chase DeYoung, who's been bankrolled to a 7-0 lead. He was a quick worker in the first place, and now if he's got routine strike throwing capability, we're going to see it.
Well, hopefully you depend on a pitcher without that much experience just trying to get ahead of everybody, and he winds up giving up some base hits. Occasionally you get so relaxed that you can't turn it back on after you do have a big lead. It doesn't happen to veterans very often, but occasionally will happen to some of the younger pitchers.
There's a 31-minute half inning where his offense, and now he pumps in a strike. 2-1 to Rondon. Jose powers this one deep left field. Grossman at the wall. It is gone.
Well, perhaps the young pitcher, thinking about that big lead, is going to get careless. He got careless with a fastball, cost him a run. Our Ford home run replay. It's a fastball. It's right down the middle. It's the 6th home run of the year, the 14th driven in.
One in. Ryan Cordell looking for his 3rd major league hit. And Jose Rondon is a really interesting guy moving forward. He had 18 home runs. He's 24 years old in AAA, 18 homers.
I mean, he can put the bat on the ball. Hitting is not his problem.
And as you know, everyone out there, the bat plays as Dylan Covey tries to get some tips.
Wearing a home run chain, that's good.
Dylan wearing the ground ball hoodie that he's fashioned.
When Dylan Covey is right, he throws lots of ground balls, and that hoodie comes into play.
Ball and 2 strikes on Cordell. Center field, Jake Cave. Look, 25 at bats for Rondon a couple of years ago with the Padres. 95 at bats this year with the Sox. We haven't seen a whole lot of him, but there's muscle in that bat.
No, he swings it pretty well.
One down, Moncada takes ball 1. That ball stayed up. Moncada flips it to left, and Grossman for the 2nd out here in the 3rd. Your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com. Two down for Yolmer Sanchez, who's 1 for 5 in the doubleheader. Chase DeYoung, right-hander out of Woodrow Wilson High in Long Beach, the same high school that provided Hall of Famer Bob Lemon.
I played for him. A position player that decided that he wanted to pitch, had a great sinker, parlayed that sinker along with his stint with the Cleveland Indians for many years into a Hall of Fame career, and a wonderful man.
Was he?
Yeah, he really was. Managed the Yankees, won, I believe, a World Series with them.
He said before that if he had pitched in the minor leagues, you mentioned he was a position player, converted. If he'd pitched in the minor leagues, you never would know if he would have stayed healthy or not. So maybe there is something to this two-way stuff. Sanchez flies out. Rondon a home run, breaking the shutout.
Join former Bears Matt Forte, Lance Briggs, and Alex Brown with host Lawrence Holmes after the Bears try to sink the Bucks. The Football After Show presented by Buffalo Wild Wings on NBC Sports Chicago Plus.
Sox down 7-1, and a foul ball from Juan Gratterall. The only run across on a home run from Jose Rondon, and with that home run, another generous donation from the Alex Nellius family in loving memory of Ursula. Two strikes on Gratterall. To right field, that's a base hit for Gratterall on 2 strikes, no less. We mentioned the game between the Tigers and Brewers and the playoff implications or explications. They were down 3-0 early, but Ryan Braun deep to left center field, and he tied the game. Milwaukee has since taken the lead, but they are standing and dancing and rolling out the barrel at Miller Park. The great Brian Anderson sneaking through on the call on Brewers TV.
And Zimmerman with a slider that didn't slide.
That will end up in a mug somewhere, typically.
Those Milwaukee boys can swing the bat. They'll give up a few, but they can swing the bat.
Oh, yeah. Top 5 in the National League in most major offensive categories. Mauer takes one low. Joe Mauer 1 for 1, single, 2-run scored, a walk as well. There are not many people who get to do what Joe Mauer has done in his career. Grow up in one place, play only for that team, get to be the hometown product, made good, and finish his career in the Twin Cities. You'd have to imagine, with the retirement possibility creeping in.
Probably could have made it in whatever sport he wanted to make it in. He just happened to love baseball, but just a quality athlete.
Same high school as Paul Molitor, his manager, Cretan-Durham Hall. Two is strike three, tipped into the glove of Smith. One away.
For the second time in the doubleheader, Joe Mauer goes down on strikes, this time swinging.
One down, Polanco.
Outfield fairly deep all the way around.
Spacious alleys to cover, especially the one between Cordell and Palka in right center. Two and one from Santiago to Polanco.
Polanco, a switch hitter who's better from the left side than he is from the right. However, somewhat surprisingly, much more power as a right-hand hitter, although the home runs evenly distributed, 3 and 3 with 6 total.
You figure moving forward, the Twins are going to have to find a way to replace the emotion that Eduardo Escobar brought to this team and the way he handled himself in the clubhouse.
I think the Twins feel they can actually get him back. I think they're going to make every effort to get him back. That's how much he meant to this team, both on the field, but especially off the field.
Strike three. Santiago has gone on runs of strikeouts this year, and now he's got 2 in a row in the third.
Just throws a fastball by him.
Two out for Cave. Cave in the third inning is the only Twins player not to reach base safely. And that may have to wait. We'll see. Sanchez didn't really have a good look at it.
No, unfortunately, Delmonico could not get there. He was back too far. It's an easier play for the left fielder, and as it turned out, with Yomer looking back over his shoulder, it becomes a very difficult play. I think he just lost sight of it.
Yeah, at some point he just didn't want to get hit.
No, well, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I mean, he went over, measured it all the way, then lost sight of the ball, and then backed away from it.
Into the seats, 1 and 2 on Cave. The White Sox Newborn Club is the perfect gift for the newest member of your family. The package includes a Southpaw onesie and hat, a White Sox bib, and a customized White Sox birth certificate. Get yours today at whitesox.com/newborn. One ball and 2 strikes. Gratterall remains at first. Minnesota with a 3-run first and a 4-run second.
7 runs, 7 hits, and a few too many walks.
Foul ball from Cave. Brewers have taken a 5-3 lead on Detroit. Red Sox are trying to come back on the Yankees with 4 in the 6th, but New York has scored 1 in the 7th to lead 9-4. Yankees pushing toward 100 wins this year. 2 short. And pushing toward home field advantage in that wild card game. That would force Oakland to come from the West Coast to play the Yankees in 1 game. The A's will end in Anaheim.
Well, the A's were probably thinking most of this year up until the beginning of September that Sean Manaea would be that guy. If they could get in the one and done game, if they could possibly get in the postseason, because it looked dismal for a long time. And Manaea was their guy. And then Manaea got hurt, had surgery, and now they got to go to somebody else.
Maybe a bullpen game. I mean, you could make the argument to piece together those innings.
I think Mengden probably goes in that game. I mean, look, it was an easy decision before. Now, now it's not quite as easy, and they've got their hands full with that decision as to what they're going to do, and they can't be patient with anybody because that Yankee team, they can jump on you in a hurry.
That is a good point. That's what's going on in the American League. And in the National League, close races, National League West included. Rockies up a game on the Dodgers. Charlie Blackmon against the Nationals with a solo home run to get Colorado on the board. Rocktober is coming, and the beard is fearsome.
Charlie Blackmon drove in over 100 runs last year from the 1 spot. I mean, he's just had a remarkable run as a #1 hitter.
Rockies are getting closer and closer to winning that division against the mighty payroll of Los Angeles. It's a game right now. The Dodgers play later on against the Giants. That's a 9:15 start time, and the Dodgers have to face Madison Bumgarner. Lined over shortstop into left by Grossman. Gratterall, the catcher, is on his way home, and the throw cut off.
Throw looked like it was off the mark, and so what Yolmer is waiting for, he's listening to Kevin Smith. He wants to hear, let it go or cut it. Then he's going to make a decision, and Nicky had some problems getting rid of the baseball. Had he gotten rid of it real quickly, I think they might have been able to have a play at the plate. You see that double clutch? The double clutch, yeah, that was really the difference in this one, because I think Yolmer would have enough time to get it and come home with it, except for the double clutch.
So it brings in another run. That's the first one against Santiago.
Well, the walk of Cave, the lefty-lefty advantage. You walk Cave, and then Grossman, a much better right-hand hitter than left. He comes through and drives home one. And that's a balk because he can't throw to an unoccupied base.
Yep.
And first base was unoccupied, and so it cost him 90 feet twice.
That's some cross wires right there.
That's only at first base. I mean, you can do the same thing to second base, same thing to third base, you're fine. But if your first baseman is off the bag with no intention of getting there, and Matt wasn't, sometimes you can be in front of the bag and you can buy the throw as a consequential throw, but that time you couldn't sell it.
To left field. Fair ball, 2 more runs. Garver thought about breaking it down. Now he does. It's a 2-run single for Garver, and the Twins are in double figures in game 2. Garver has driven in 5.
Yeah, that's a big second game for Mitch Garver. 2 doubles and a single, 5 driven in. Looked like a high change, but Garver, who'd used right field a couple of times, takes it down the line and left.
First one, a strike to Kepler. As we were talking, and as the Twins were scoring a couple more runs, Trey Turner has tripled in 2 runs, and the Nationals have taken the lead on the Rockies. How fun is late September baseball?
It's just great. I mean, when you're scoreboard watching, it's just great.
Moncada to first to retire the side, but Minnesota grabs 3 more. And after 3, the Twins are up some runs. With big smiles like that on Waverly Utilities in Waverly, Iowa, the home of A.J. Hinch, Astros manager.
AJ's having a pretty nice year.
Yeah, he is.
Having a nice year. I mean, it's not easy to be a manager, but it gets a little easier where you can write some of the names he can write down and a starting rotation that he can write down. Now, when he goes to the back end of the bullpen, things might get a little sketchy, but starting rotation and that lineup, really something for the Astros.
And a credit to him and the complementary parts in a season when they've both lost Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve at points to still get to 100 wins.
They were going to make a shambles of that until Altuve went down, and then they had some problems. They lost Correa for a while, didn't seem to miss much. Lost some pitching, didn't miss much. Lost some back end of the bullpen, didn't miss much. But when they lost Altuve, shows you how important he is to that group, because they weren't the same team without the little guy.
Polka did go around. He wanted to check it up with every fiber of his being, but couldn't do it.
It's a changeup. He seems to have seen the tail end of it. He saw it just start to move, but started his swing and could not check it up.
So Chase DeYoung looking for his first major league win. Is through 1 out in the 4th with a 10-1 lead.
Okay, so here's what's going through his mind right now.
What's going through his mind right now?
Got a 9-run lead. I know that I got to get through the 5th inning. I'm going to count down the outs from now until I get through 5 to qualify for this win.
Can start to get a little tingly though.
I've been in a situation where my team went on to score 14 and I didn't make it through the 5th. I thought.
What were you doing?
Getting hit. Getting hit a lot, actually.
You get a little loose, right?
Well, you have a decent lead and you start thinking about getting the first pitch over. You always want to stay ahead when you have a big lead, and then you give up a base hit. Okay, so you don't want to walk anybody because now you have that big lead still, but you give up another base hit. Then eventually you wind up giving up a few.
You pitchers are really neurotic.
I remember there was one game I was watching Rick Russell, who was one of the really good Cub pitchers of that era. He wound up in 1977 to win 20 games. But after the third inning, he hurt his leg, top of the fourth, hitting. Had to come out of the game, and it was like a battle in the bullpen. Who are they going to ask? Because if you pitch 2 innings, you had a 3-run lead, you're in pretty good shape. Philadelphia wasn't a particularly good team. So.
Well, that also, it's hilarious, first of all. Second of all, it speaks to the nonsense of the rule.
Yep.
That it's just whoever gets pulled into the game gets a win.
That was it. Well, if you hung on, yeah.
Polanco stabilizes to make the catch for out number 2.
That was up there for a long time.
So 2 down, and Narvaez is the batter. He is 1 for 1. That's a strike. Soft catch by Gratterall. On a line in right, Kepler. 1-2-3 inning for DeYoung. 10-1 Minnesota. Show me the Chicago White Sox into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Strike 1 to Logan Forsythe from Hector Santiago, who was cleanup on aisle 2 tonight. After an inning and a third from Lucas Giolito, Hector got through the second inning and gave up 3 in the third. Just trying to sop up some outs for Ricky Renteria tonight, leading into a night game tomorrow and a day game on Sunday to close out the regular season. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Forsythe, former first-round pick of the Padres 10 years ago.
Logan Forsythe was a pretty solid player. Didn't have much of an opportunity this year, but he's had some pretty nice years.
20 homers 2 years ago with Tampa Bay. Year before, 17 home runs, but 33 doubles, 9 stolen bases, had an OPS of 804. He takes strike 3. Hector with a nifty changeup on the inside corner. Out number 1.
This is pretty good play. Forsythe thought it was inside. Tom Payne thought it was good enough, and I think Forsythe, probably because Kevin Smith went across the plate to get it, thought it was out of the zone, but it had the whole plate.
One out for Adrianza, who bats left-handed against Santiago. Moncada has it go through him to right.
Just about time you start taking things for granted. You lift up and the ball stays down. And that is the result. The one charged with error number 20.
See if Hector can get a ground ball that turns into 2. Some nights are longer than others in a baseball season. Cordell, 2 gone. Here's your Sox math question for game number 2. Take the answer from game 1, multiply it by the number of Canadian provinces which border Minnesota. Got it?
Yep.
Did you keep the answer from game 1?
Nope.
So you don't got it.
Is the answer 8?
Is the answer 8? Nope.
Well, there you go.
That's a foul ball wide of first. Thanks for playing, though.
6?
No.
4?
No. Yes, indeed. Folks,
this is fun.
Second game of a doubleheader. You've been waiting for it all day. It's time for Guess the Number.
Oh, I got plenty of time.
Just wait till you see the home game. That's where Steve knocks on your door and guesses numbers. Home game, by the way, is for adults 95 and over. Nobody wants the home game.
No. These are one of those, one of those where you can't give it away.
That's a tapper first base side and a fair ball and a near collision. Error doesn't hurt. We'll go to the 5th. Steve will guess more numbers. It's 10-1.
an official White Sox MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Top 5. 10-1 Minnesota. Doubleheader game number 2 tonight. Kevin Smith in the air left field. Grossman at the warning track of the wall. It is gone. Second solo home run for the Sox today. Kevin Smith powers it out.
Third of the year. He's got 21 driven in. And just like last inning, a leadoff solo shot. Ford home run replay. First ball fastball, second ball fastball, gone.
Well, Kevin Smith has been going to Daniel Palka to try and get some tips on power, and he went to the right place.
Gets to wear the chain, the home run chain.
Now, if you're the last person this season to hit a home run, do you get to take it home with you? Or does it depend on contract status?
A little of both.
Serve to right center. Number 1. Kevin should wear it out to catch.
That'd be good.
See if anyone notices. Excuse me, sir. Extra armor. One out, Jose Rondon. Breaking ball, strike 1. Well, DeYoung hasn't hurt himself very much. He's walked 1. He's allowed a total of 3 hits. 2 happen to have left the ballpark. Into right center field. This goes and playable for Kepler. Chicago White Sox Charities would like to thank Mazda of Orland Park for donating a Mazda CX-3 for this year's car raffle. Visit Mazda of Orland Park online at zoomzoomnation.com. Two out for Ryan Cordell, who flied out to center in the 3rd. He takes ball 1. Ryan 2 hits in his first major league time. 1 his first hit, his first major league home run. And this one a towering fly ball into short right field for Forsythe. 1-2-3 after the home run. You can't take that back. Kevin Smith goes deep. Yeah, because definitely some bad news would be nice in a 10-2 game, Chuck. Well, what are you doing to us? Lowry Markkanen injured for the Bulls. That is certainly not happy news, as Polanco, Cave, and Grossman will bat against Santiago here in the 5th. You believe that? Sox are down 10-2, and Chuck's got Lowry Markkanen injured for his update.
That's not so good.
6 to 8 weeks.
Yikes.
I love watching him play too. So sleek, so talented. Good at social media trolling as well. Has a snarky sense of humor.
Large fellow.
Large fellow.
Yeah.
One-on-one against Jeff Vukovich. Be a fun battle. 2-1 to Polanco.
Not for the next 8 weeks.
That's true. Hopefully it's on the lower side, 6 to 8. 2-1. And Polanco swings through another nice changeup from Hector. Two and two. Up and out. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Milwaukee still holds their 5-3 lead over Detroit. Colorado has retaken the lead 4-2 over the Nationals.
Ian Desmond, a 2-run home run, back-to-back with Chris Iannetta. That's called strike 3. Change up. 1 down.
John Tumpain on the call. And it was in the neighborhood.
That was just about the same pitch that got Forsythe.
Yeah, very similar. I think you're at the point now where you don't want to take too many of these in a 10-2 ball game as we move to the latter stages of this one.
Cave skies it. Moncada back. Yoan drops it. Cave safe at second base.
Although this is an easier play for the outfield, when you have outfielders that have not been around at that positions all that often, this happens. Right out of the middle of the glove. So we'll have to wait and see how that one is ruled. You want call for it, just didn't make the play.
That one doesn't sting nearly as much for Moncada, but for the 4th inning ground ball.
It's a double. Wow.
Steve, I feel bad to tell you this, but I didn't remember it was Christmas, so I don't have a gift for you.
There you go. Well, it seems like it. Yeah, that was fairly generous here, but in the grand scheme of things, not going to mean a great deal.
Tell Hector that if some runs come across.
Well, it will to him.
That's right. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's your Sox math winner for tonight. The answer in game number 1 was 6. 2 Canadian provinces border Minnesota. 12 is your answer.
That was in the neighborhood. A little short.
You literally just guessed numbers, and now you're claiming.
That was in. Yeah, it was close.
Yeah. Love your competitive spirit. 0-2. Outside. That ball threatened to come back over the corner.
Going a little too slowly to catch that outside corner, however.
Cave at second, 1 out. Game 1 went to the Twins 2-1. Minnesota scored the game winner in the 6th on a Williams Astudillo sac fly. Into the glove, strike 3. 2 out in this 5th.
Take another look. Looks like a good change on the outside corner. Got Grossman swinging over the top.
Hector Santiago this year at nearly 9 strikeouts per 9 is at his best rate since 2012. And they've come in big bunches.
No, I mean, all things considered, I think it's really been a nice year for him. And you look at the numbers, they're not going to be great, but he's been asked to come into situations where, look, the game's out of hand. You have to eat up some innings and somehow turn off a very hot baseball team. And some guys can't do it. I don't think a young pitcher can do it, but Hector seems to be able to do it well. He's actually thrived in the role.
Right now, as we sit here, his ERA is 4.47.
Yeah. And it came down from a long way back.
There were games during that stretch where you wouldn't blame him if he felt like he couldn't get anybody out. There were some tough times, and his bounce back has been pronounced. Garver's 3 for 3. He's driven in 5. And he loops this ball to center field. Cave comes home. The Twins get one more.
Garver's having a career night. That's 6 driven in. I can't believe he's had better nights than that. 4 for 4, a couple of doubles, a couple of singles. And Garver reaches down, gets a changeup, and takes it into center field. This has been some night for him.
So 4 hits for the second time in his career. 6 driven in for the very first time in his career. So yeah, no better night for him.
This is pretty impressive.
Albuquerque's finest. Mitch Garver. One slash foul. 1-2 to Kepler. And that hits Max Kepler. He was not about to duck out of the way of that thing.
No, Max could have gotten out of the way of that one, but decided as long as that one was coming at him, it wasn't going to hurt. It was a soft breaking ball. He just turned around and took one, not necessarily for the club. Goes at 11-2. This is not a key aspect of the game, but he's aboard.
Could have read about half of a Marshall McLuhan book.
I know that one came in a little slowly.
Max, get out of the way, Max. 2 on, 2 out, and into the air it goes from Forsythe. Polka. We're out number 3. Twins do get 1 on the Garver 2-out single. He's driven in 6. in 2019. Full and partial ticket packages are on sale now, offering you the best seats, savings, and benefits. For more information, call 312-674-1000 or go to whitesox.com right now. Yoan Moncada takes ball one. Tough night tonight in the field for Yoan. He laces this ball to right field and extra bases into the right field corner. Moncada throttles down into second, leadoff double.
Four innings in a row, the leadoff hitter is aboard, and this time a ringing double down the line. Yoan crushes it. And a promising way to start the sixth.
Double number 29 for Yoan Moncada. So Moncada already has 15+ homers and 60+ driven in. With one more double, he's the 5th White Sox player ever 23 or younger with 30 doubles, 15 homers, 60+ driven in. The others are Chet Lemon, Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko, and Carlos Lee. So there are portions of this season that he'll want back, certainly, and there are portions of this year Ricky Renteria wants to be smoothed out for sure. But when you talk about productivity, there are some signs that Moncada's bat is becoming alert.
No, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be a huge offensive force.
To first on a line drive and out number one.
I think Yoan's really going to hit the ball and hit the ball well from both sides of the plate. The question will be putting him in a position to be very comfortable defensively, because that will be the challenge for him. It's not something that he has that great natural feel for, but it's something he's so athletic that he can adjust to. Just a question of which place it's going to be, and that is to be determined.
One out, Daniel Palka swings through a changeup, as he did for strike 3 in the 4th. Moncada at second, and Palka threw a fastball at 90, 1-2.
And if you guessed where is Oliver Drake and said the Minnesota Twins, you're right. There he is, the much traveled Oliver Drake.
He's been here an eternity.
Yeah, he has been.
In Drake years.
This has been for him, what, 5 teams?
5 teams, 1 season, major league record. 2 down. Let's see what you know about your own career. Sticks and stone here in game number 2. Who was your first strikeout victim on the Twins? Those are all big names.
They're huge
Can I pick
names.
D?
Yeah. I'll pick Rob Wilfong.
It's not Rob Wilfong.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's one of those guys.
It is. Yeah, there's no fill in the blank on Sticks and Stone.
It isn't. Okay, I'll say Harmon Killebrew.
You remember it?
No, but I was very good friends with him, and he was a wonderful man.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was. He was a very nice guy.
How'd you get to know him?
In Scottsdale, playing at golf tournaments with him consistently. Good man.
We'll hear more about one of the great hitters of all time, Harmon Killebrew, if Steve has anything. After this, I bet he does. Bottom of the 6th inning. 11-2. Minnesota with the lead as Santiago throws a strike to Adrianza. Got inside that time. So you were talking about Harmon Killebrew going to the break.
I was. We used to play in golf tournaments together, and every time, and we played in a lot of tournaments because quite obviously a lot of former players live in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, and there's a lot of charity golf tournaments that go on that guys set up, and they do a great job of making a whole lot of money for some worthy causes. And so every year I'd play in a few of these tournaments, and Harmon would always be there, and he'd always say the same thing. He says, "Do you play in my golf tournament?" And I said, "Well, actually, no, Harmon, because you've never invited me." He goes, "Oh, I'm going to invite you." And I said, "Well, terrific." That went on about 10 years. Harmon has passed away. I haven't played in his golf tournament yet, and I have a feeling I'm not going to get into one. But he was a very nice man and apparently had a very nice golf tournament.
But you still haven't been invited.
Every year he said, "I got to invite you to mine." I said, "Great. Here's my number." Okay. Haven't heard from him yet.
Were you too intimidating of a golfer?
I don't think so, no. Maybe, but I don't think so. Nah.
Second base, Moncada for round number 1. The reason for that discussion was sticks and stone. We'll see if you were right. Was it Harmon Killebrew? Let's see. It was.
Yeah, it would have to, because I couldn't believe I could strike out Tony Oliva or Rod Carew.
Why not?
They're pretty good.
So was Harmon.
Yeah, but they were left-handed. Harmon was right-handed. That was a difference. Right-handed home run hitters didn't bother me too much. Those left-handed contact guys who could hit the ball out of the park, they were tough.
Foul ball. Hey, guess what? Aaron Judge hit a home run.
Which isn't startling. But
it is a record-tying home run. Number 264 for the Yankees, tying the 1997 Mariners for the home run lead as Sanchez throws Gratterall out. Major home run contribution in '97 for the Mariners from former Sox player Joey Cora. 11 home runs that year for Joey.
They couldn't have set the record without him.
They couldn't have.
Before you besmirch his character, remember that.
No. There was no besmirching.
Okay.
40 from noted Seinfeld mentioned right fielder Jay Buhner.
Yeah. How could you trade him?
Ken Phelps. My people were saying Ken Phelps. Ken Griffey Jr., noted White Sox center fielder with 56 that year. And a base hit for Joe Mauer. Remember Russ Davis?
Yes.
He had 20 home runs that year for the Mariners.
Big right-hand hitter, I believe.
Big dude. 119 games, 20 home runs. A-Rod was 21 years old that year, hit 23 homers.
And Joe Mauer getting a standing ovation from a crowd that absolutely loves him.
That's a petite pinch runner over at first.
Yeah, he thought the applause was for him. I mean, they like him. He's really ingratiating himself to the crowd. That's a very big hand to come in to pinch run.
With all the chatter, at least, about Joe Mauer possibly retiring, they don't know when the last time he's going to play here is. Now, we imagine he'll be in the lineup the next couple of days.
Yeah, I would think so.
The belief was that he'd play all 4, but we'll see if that changes.
Looks like another balk.
or the applause was so great for Joe Mauer that Petit just gets second base.
They just decide to give him second because he waited too long at first.
The applause meter tilts fast enough and far enough past extra base. That's a strike. Here's the call of the balk. Let's take a look and see if we can ferret anything out.
Right there, he started to dip. He had accepted a sign. He thought Kevin hung another sign. He gave him a little head bob, and that was all it took.
Strike three. Santiago fans Polanco. 9th strikeout for Sox pitching. To the 7th we go.
Pitcher in the ball game, it is Oliver Drake. He of the 5 teams in 1 year. Drake's out for the 43rd time, 1-1 ERA of 5.5. There you look at the rest of the numbers.
Like a good mixtape, we went from DeYoung to Drake here in the 7th, or at least an eclectic one. Chase DeYoung, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, and he may sail away tonight with his very first major league win.
Looks like he's in pretty good shape. But it's a strange game. You never know.
Oliver Drake looks like he tilts more than he used to. It's kind of askew as he delivered the ball. Downstairs, 2-1. Johnny Field is in left.
Is he in left field?
Yeah, it's. Yeah. Why don't you call Abbott or Costello and get a new partner? Either one of them's fine. It's just not me. 3 balls and a strike. Drake to Narvaez. Now 3-2. Omar is single to center, a line out to right. His night so far. He reaches out and punches it to left field.
2 for 3. Narvaez has that batting average comfortably over 270. Oliver Drake reaches out, a most unusual motion, and throws a splitter. And somehow, on a pitch about 9 inches off the outside corner, Omar is able to just dunk it into left field.
That pitch debuted in his field of vision in the strike zone.
And it just kept on moving. Nice job of defensive hitting by Omar.
Right field side and foul.
Let's take a look at the high-speed action powered by Xfinity, and it comes off the bat of Kevin Smith. His 3rd home run of the year. Towering fly ball to left field, 102.1 exit velocity. And it made it 10-2 at the time.
Twins have added 1 to lead 11-2 here in the 7th. Just wide, foul of 3rd. What are you going to do with that? We got too much stuff at home. Give it to somebody else. I don't want it. Put it in your den.
Bidding is up to 12 cents.
When is the age when unbridled joy goes away at getting a foul ball? What age does that happen at?
13 3/4.
Thank you. I knew you'd have the answer. You're not all field puns.
Nope. I've got a whole list of cogent facts.
Why don't you use one of them?
Really? Some in the 3rd game.
It's in storage. But you got the list. 1 down for Nicky here in the 7th. Thanks for joining us tonight. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Our entire crew at Target Field. One of the gems of ballparks in Major League Baseball. We got some heat lamps going down the line.
Beautiful ballpark. And it was a very well played and a very good first game. Second game, not quite the same. Twins got out to the early lead. 3, 4, and 3 in the first 3 innings will do that to you.
Like moths around the heat lamps.
Not a bad idea.
You want to invest?
I think so. What if I can take one home in my briefcase, bring it back tomorrow night? Of course, the game's at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, so it won't be near as chilly as tonight.
I'm just imagining you walking through the metal detector on the way into the stadium tomorrow.
With a heat lamp?
Tap ball back to Drake. And he throws on to first. Gratterall pointed them that direction, and rightfully so. 2 down. Please don't take that home with you.
Oh, that would be a bad idea.
No, don't do it.
But it certainly would be warm.
Especially don't bring that to 1 floor above my hotel room. Doesn't end well.
Well, for those of you who might not have heard, and you wouldn't have heard, I don't believe, because it was in the building that Jason and I share, there was a fire.
Yeah.
And I was kind of inconvenienced because I couldn't get back to my apartment, so I had to wait downstairs. But then I realized when I watched all of these firemen going upstairs that it really was a fire, not that somebody tripped the alarm. And it turned out it was, amazingly enough, one apartment above Jason's apartment with a couple moving in that left a cardboard box on the stove. Now, when you do that, normally you don't turn the stove on, but that would be too easy. So there was a fire, and Jason's apartment now is inundated with water, and he is staying at various motels around the greater Chicago area.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Ultra specific. Ground ball to third ends the inning. We'll play bottom 7. You gonna give out my address too? What are you doing? 11-2. App. Customize your experience. Get White Sox home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Got a new pitcher in the game. It's Rob Scahill. He's on for the 6th time. There you look at the numbers. Does not have a decision yet. Gone a total of 3 innings. He just wants to get some outs.
He'll face Cave, Grossman, and Garver here in the 7th inning. 11-2 Minnesota. Sox fans taking in one of the final 3 games of this year. Again, you may say, well, they're down big. I'm going to watch kinda and do something else at the same time. There are not many innings left in this season. And baseball, as is our experience, once it goes away, you start to miss it pretty quickly in your life.
Now, what so often happens, you're going to watch a whole lot of football, both college and pros. You're going to eventually then get into the Bull season, the Blackhawks season. You're going to enjoy your winter sports, and then in the not too distant future, you're going to be wondering what the Sox are doing.
Moncada rolls it over there and safe.
I think that Nicky Delmonico felt like he got him on the swipe tag. Matt Davidson, excuse me, and we'll watch it again. He does a nice job of picking it and then reaches back. He thinks he got him on the foot. I believe that's what it was. He believes he got him on the foot. Now,
was it too late?
The challenge is going to be see if you can see it. It looked like if he did indeed get him on the foot, it looked like it was before the other foot hit the bag.
I agree with you.
But then again, we got to determine if he did indeed get him on the foot. It'll be really hard to tell because he got him flying by.
This may be our best look. Let's see. In New York, they will slow that down frame to frame and see whether or not that actually happened. But if you don't have that frame right at that moment, they're going to have to then piece a couple of pictures together real time and see if they've got it. Again, the standard of indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field might be too much to overcome here. You think it stays safe?
I think it's really hard to overturn with the evidence that we had. Now, if they have a better look and they have a couple of camera angles that we don't have, if they get a different look, they might make a case for it. We'll slow it down.
Ooh, that's
again. If he and it looked like he got it, but then again, there's not enough evidence to overturn. So he's going to be safe at first.
So Cave's on. Davidson pleading his case to John Libka, or at least tongue-in-cheek pleading his case. Field hitting for Grossman. Third and fair. Down the left field line, a double for Johnny Field. Cave into third.
He gets an inside fastball and takes it right down the line. Gilmer cannot get to it, and it rattles around for a two-base hit.
Bringing up Garver with yet another opportunity to build on already 6 driven in. 4 for 4, 6 RBIs for Garver. Hector Santiago, final line, 4 2/3, 7 hits. He allowed 4 earned runs, walked 2, struck out 7. All in all, he got the Sox short starting pitcher numbers.
Yeah, you got him through the 6th.
Some power to right field for Garver, huh?
He makes good solid contact and lets the ball get fairly deep. I mean, looks like he's almost taken it out of Kevin Smith's glove, and yet he hits it with authority. That first double down the line was way high and out of the strike zone. He attacked it and hit the daylights out of it. So 2 doubles, 2 singles, 6 driven in.
One and 2 to Garver. Cue shot first base side. No RBIs this time. Davidson collects it for out number 1.
Kepler has a run batted in tonight.
There's a strike. Kepler's only hit in the doubleheader was that first inning single. That was against Lucas Giolito, who gave up 3 in the first and 4 more in the second in his final start in 2018. Second base. This will get a run home. Moncada on to first. Cave scores. Field to third. And 12-2 Minnesota.
That's 56 driven in by Kepler, including 2 tonight.
Well, the Tigers have come back to tie the Brewers. A Dawel Lugo 2-run homer. His first home run off of Josh Hader in the 8th inning tied the game at 5. So in the National League, things are back and forth as the Rockies have held on to their 5-2 lead in the home 7th over Washington. Dodgers and the Giants are underway in the 2nd inning scoreless. Dodgers a game back of Colorado coming into tonight. Breaking ball just a little bit inside. 2-1. In the dirt, stays close enough by. No movement from field. Three and one from Rob Scahill. Outside. 6th walk tonight in game 2 for Minnesota. And they're at the corners for Adrianza. Hard hit left field. Nicky is there on a reach for out number 3, and that will do it. Minnesota adds 1 on in the 7th. Nicky makes a friend.
It's Kyle Gibson and the Minnesota Twins. Coverage begins at 5:30. You can stream the game on the NBC Sports app. And we got a new pitcher in the ball game. It's Andrew Vasquez. On for the 8th time. ERA an even 3. And we'll see if he's allowed to go the requisite 6 outs. It is the top of the 8th.
1 inning for Oliver Drake. And Vasquez replaces him to face Cordell, Moncada, and Sanchez in this 8th inning. Fly out to center, pop out to second for Cordell so far tonight. Right field. And boy, Kepler nearly got shocked by the flight of that ball. 1 down.
Pretty easy to lose that one in the lights, because on a line drive that doesn't get up over the lights or under the lights, it'll pass in and out of the lights. And sometimes you're looking at it, you got it, and all of a sudden you lose it. That time it looked like Kepler lost it, but got it again to make the catch. He's seeing it, he's not seeing it, and the ball just happened to stick in the glove, and that's a break.
Right as it got there.
Yep.
He lost it. So 1 out for Moncada. One ball, 1 strike. Vasquez, major league rookie out of UCSB. No go. 3-1. Ball 4. Sox fans, StubHub is your ticket to once-in-a-lifetime experiences. From Chicago White Sox games to amazing concerts and shows you don't want to miss. StubHub, your ticket out. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago White Sox. Sanchez looks at strike 1. Mentioned Carlos Rodon getting that last start of the year tomorrow. He'll face Kyle Gibson, who's had a nice rejuvenation year for Minnesota with an ERA sub 3.7. Center field, base hit, past Cave. That was a needless high-risk effort. Sanchez may have a home run. Let's see. Yolmer's on his way to third, and he does get the stop sign. It's an RBI triple for Sanchez, scoring Moncada.
Yolmer, who was a triples machine the first half of the season, picks one up here late. Cave tried to make the catch, could not block it after not catching it, and the ball gets by him all the way to the wall as Yolmer takes a low hook. Cave does not play that one particularly well. And Yolmer off to the races.
Left side and through. That's a base hit for Polka. Daniel scores Yolmer, and it's 12-4.
67 driven in for Daniel Polka, who picks up a run batted in against a lefty.
That was Yolmer's first triple since July the 3rd.
I know. I mean, I know that he had a bunch and then all of a sudden hit the wall triples wise before picking one up here tonight.
So double figures in triples for Yolmer Sanchez. And he is now second in baseball. Ketel Marte of Arizona has 12 entering play tonight, but the American League lead is all for Sanchez. Cave owes an apology to Andrew Vasquez's ERA.
That hit him.
And that did hit him. So Davidson goes to first. 2 on, 1 out. Oh, I spoke too soon about Yolmer having the league lead to himself because Malik Smith of Tampa Bay had a triple tonight too. So he's tied with Yolmer with 10. Meeting at the mound. Don't think Cave's going to come running in from center field.
Only
Polanco
3.
did. Yeah, only 3.
Only 3 on the mound.
Small meeting.
Yeah.
One out, 2 on for Narvaez. On the ground right side. Garver to second for 1. Return pass is dropped. It was a little more deliberate than expected.
I thought they were going to turn it pretty easily, especially with Omar going up the line, but it didn't work out that way. Whole lot of time for Garver, who is a catcher. And then the return throw and missed. Vasquez just got a glove on it. That was about it.
And it looks like another discussion is coming on the mound. So 12-4, 2 out in the 8th inning. Sox trying to effect a comeback as they've done in the late innings. Even when down big, the Sox continue to chip away as Garvin Alston is out there, the pitching coach for Minnesota. And Alan Buznitz.
He's loosening up, and that's why Alston is out there. That gives him some time after covering first base, so he's had his say. Some pain went out to break it up.
Two on, 2 out for Kevin. 12-4 Minnesota. Strike 1 to Smith. The Giants have taken an early lead against the Dodgers in the 2nd inning. A Nick Hundley home run off of Hyun-Jin Ryu makes it 1-0 San Francisco. Dodgers a game back of the Rockies in the NL West as play started today. Rockies are 3 outs away from a victory. Cardinals certainly rooting for a Dodger loss tonight to give them a little bit more of a shot in the wild card. Kevin strikes out and the inning comes to an end. Sox grab a couple. Sanchez an RBI triple, Polka an RBI single.
promised, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment, and it's a night of Mitch Garver, and it's been a good one. 4 for 5, 6 driven in. He just kept bashing the baseball. Sox were able to get him out the last time up, and that was it.
Rob Scahill remains to face the 9-1-2 hitters for the Twins here in the 8th. Bouncing ball to third. Sanchez. Around number 1. So here's Gregorio Petit, who came on for Joe Mauer, who got a standing ovation, as he normally does here in the Twin Cities. We saw Jose Barrios pitch earlier as Petit skies this ball in foul territory. Sanchez for round number 2. It's a decent chance Jose Barrios is the opening day starter for this Minnesota side when they begin their 10th season here at Target Field next year.
I couldn't think of anybody else in that particular role, but we'll have to see what they do over the wintertime. Who's going to come back, who's not going to come back. Chris Jimenez coming on to pinch hit.
No bat for Polanco, the well-traveled catcher. Chris Jimenez. Scahill gets a tapper foul. One ball, one strike to Jimenez.
Well, if you think Ryan Braun's a pretty good player, he just homered for the second time, giving Milwaukee the lead over Pittsburgh. They lead 6-5. Second home run of the night for Braun.
He went back-to-back. A couple of home runs in the first inning for the Brewers, and now an 8th inning lead over the Tigers, trying to keep it a 1-game deficit in the NL Central. Great fun in the postseason race in the National League right now.
If you get a chance and you're looking at highlights at all, take a look at the second Braun home run, because Castellanos has it. It leaves his glove and hangs on the top of the wall before just dropping over the fence. It was a most unique situation for Ryan Braun, one you don't see very often.
Scahill punches out Jimenez. 1-2-3 inning for Rob Scahill. To the 9th we go, 12-4.
On for the 4th time. There you look at the numbers. 16 hits and 12 2/3. That's not a good number. But 2 walks in.
Slagers replaces Vasquez, who went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs. He walked 1, he struck 1 out, and he hit 1. That was Matt Davidson. As Nicky leads it off, then Rondon and Cordell in a 12-4 lead for Minnesota in the top of the 9th. Strike 1. Sox haven't been swept in a doubleheader since July 1st, 4 years ago. Ryan Lamar, the former Twin. Matt Davidson talking it over. Ready to hit just in case.
That's a thrill, getting a bat. One thing to get a baseball, another thing to get a bat.
Not a bad take home.
No, especially game used, tape on the handle, ready to go.
That was Yolmer Sanchez with the gift. Nicky, a bocce ball into short left. It's our BP home run of the game, and it's this guy, Jose Rondon, cracking the scoring for the Sox at 388. He can get it up and out.
He's had a nice year home run wise between the minor leagues and the major leagues.
Can play most of the infield positions, if not all. On the ground, third base. And the Twins will take the easy way. Rockies have gone final. They're 5-2 winners over Washington, so Colorado clinches a playoff berth at the very least. Your defensive changes, by the way. Adrianza to short, Jimenez to third. Cordell through the night sky and foul for strike 1. Ryan hit the ball hard last time, but right at Max Kepler on an 0 for 3. Delmonico at second. Cordell takes ball 1. Slagers with strike 2. A Hoosier, Aaron Slagers, not by birth, but by education. Born in Scottsdale, Arizona, however, went to IU for his college years. Cave in center collects out number 2, and the Sox are down to their final out of this doubleheader. Well, Reynaldo Lopez in game one threw very well. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Jose Barrios was a little better, but Minnesota's bats awoke here in game 2.
They did. It was a tough start for Lucas. He never really got his feet on the ground. Started with a couple of base hits back to back by Mauer and Polanco, and then 3 in the first, 4 in the second, 3 in the third, and that was about it.
Moncada takes a strike. Yoan 1 for 3 in the game, a double, a run scored, and a walk. Line out to center, fly out to left. His evening. Strike 2. Chase DeYoung 1 strike away from his first major league win. Oh, 2 in the dirt. Ball and 2 strikes from Slagers. And he'll have to do it again. Sox got homers from Rondon and Smith, but the sun is setting on this doubleheader only figuratively. 2-2. Delmonico at second, 2 out. Ball 3.
That was a tough pitch to take. Yoan took it and got the benefit of the call from John Tumpane.
Another 3-2 will have to happen. It'll be pitch number 8 of the sequence. Three balls, 2 strikes. That'll wake you up. Called strike 3. A little bit low. It got the job done for Slagers. And 12-4, the Twins sweep the doubleheader.
But we talked about the first game was very well played, and unfortunately Barrios was just too good for Reynaldo Lopez. But the second game was all Twins. They take the doubleheader, first time in a long time.
So we say farewell. See you tomorrow night. For our director, Jim Angio, our producer, John Walgren, our associate producer, Mike Norman, the technical manager, Mark Harper, and our executive producer, Greg Bowman, plus our entire crew here in Minneapolis. He's Steve, I'm Jason. So long from the Twin Cities.